today I want to talk about my kind of minimalism, how it helps me run my businesses and run my life and take stress away from me on a day-to-day basis. It's a very personal journey for me and I thought I'd share it with you guys. So let's dive in. Hey there sisters! So if you've watched my channel or indeed you've hopped on over to brainybiscuit.com and read my blog, you will know that I love a good declutter. Not only for me, if you want to declutter, I will be there in a heartbeat to help you too. For me, minimalism and decluttering has become part of who I am. And I know that's not the case for everybody, and you're probably wondering why I talk about this, because really this channel and my website are not all, but mostly about being in business and being an entrepreneur. But it's dear to my heart because it helps me achieve my goals. So I wanted to share with you guys what it is about minimalism and decluttering that I find so therapeutic and so useful in my life. So first and foremost, I used to be the same as most people out there. I really used to love stuff. Now, please don't get me wrong, I still love stuff and I'll come back to that. But certainly throughout my 20s and 30s, one way of proving that I had succeeded was to acquire more stuff. And some of this stuff was fantastic, I'll be honest with you. I was I am a child of the 60s, so I went through the 80s with the whole loads of money phenomenon, the Thatcher years, and that's when I was at work, early in my career. So the idea of being able to buy what I want and all this wonderful consumerism was fantastic. I bought into it wholeheartedly, and I had some great things as well as some great times. But as I've got older, I have found that simplifying my life in terms of the amount of stuff that I have has really helped me focus on the things that are important for me. And I do think that as I've got a bit older, it's made it a lot easier for me to have less things, because it means that I have to do less of the things that I don't enjoy doing, and it means I can do more of the things that I do enjoy doing. So I still love things. I love books and music, and yes, I probably do regret getting rid of all of my albums, my LPs, but I've still got the music. It's out there in the ether now. So it's not about getting rid of things. The mindset that I think about is about how I can bring more into my life, not less. The problem I have with things is that they take up space and they need to be looked after. And I'll be honest with you, my days now are not about cleaning and taking care of things. It's about achieving and traveling and meeting people, etc. So, my life now is much simpler. For example, in my living room, I have 2 chairs. There are 2 individuals in this household. There are other chairs in the house. I do like people. I do want them to come round and visit. But on a day-to-day basis, I have 2 chairs in the living room because it gives me space. It means I don't have to clean and tidy and plump cushions all of the time. So not having as much stuff gives me a whole host of time back. For example, I don't clean as much. I love clean. I should be doing videos on cleaning, but I absolutely don't want to spend all of my time cleaning. There is a difference. I love my Roomba. It goes underneath everything, hard floors, easy to clean. It makes my life so much easier. And that means that I can concentrate on the things that I enjoy doing and the things that I want to do. Now, I've recently launched brainybiscuit.com, which is a new channel, a new website. I do have other businesses out in the real world, but this is a passion for me and I want to spend time doing this. I want to spend time talking to you guys about things like confidence and building a business and how to break the glass ceiling and what do you do if you're a new mum and you've got to go back to work, and all of that kind of thing seems much more important to me than filing my socks currently. And I've also got a couple of examples over the last few years where having less stuff has actually been really, really empowering. And therefore I'm taking this more and more into my life. So, for example, about 3 or 4 years ago now, I had to spend 3 months in Ibiza. Oh, what bad luck. I travelled there to work, and I drove because I was living on mainland Spain at the time. So I could take things, and I took a good coffee pot, which is obviously really important. So I bundled me and the dogs, there were 2 of them at the time, into the car. But what it did mean was I couldn't actually take loads of clothes. So I ended up with a wardrobe that was about yay big. It was tiny. Because I was renting this apartment for 3 months. And you know what? I actually wore more outfits with my tiny wardrobe than I would in my day-to-day life. I had something for everything, whether it was a business meeting or going out clubbing, and I managed to mix and match everything for every occasion. And I didn't have to worry about washing and ironing and cleaning it all. It all just went into one wash load, and of course it dried in the Ibiza sun. But it was a really good point. The other thing was about this tiny apartment, and it was tiny, was that I didn't have stuff all over the place. So there was my laptop, and there was my phone, and my Wi-Fi box, which I managed to take with me, and the coffee pot. But other than that, there wasn't lots of things to take care of. And it was really freeing. I got opportunities to do the work that I needed to do, see the people that I needed to see whilst I was there, because I have a business there. But I also had time to go out to a bar, to a club, to have a lovely meal and to sit on the beach, which is something that, is pretty unique when you're running 4 or 5 businesses and you're business passionate, I suppose. So it was a really good lesson for me. And it's also made it, how can I put this? Things like the lockdown and the coronavirus have sort of re-emphasised how important for me family, friends and travelling when I can are. I don't want to have to house and look after stuff. I don't want to have to pay insurances and for valeting and for storage. The storage business is huge. Maybe I should get into the storage business. So for me, it allows me to have the time to do the things that I want to do. And I'm actually going to say something now which is really sort of off key, because I'm a marketeer and that's been my business background for years. And I'm actually going to criticise us as marketeers now, because what I have found is that it's not having the stuff, it's buying the stuff. Yes, I like to have stuff and I like to have nice stuff. For example, I do have some really nice things that I won't throw away because I use them every day and they're very dear to me. It's not bullshit sentimentality, they genuinely are. So, for example, I actually have a Louis Vuitton glasses case. I've had it for about 17 years. It was given to me by someone I love dearly, and I use it every day. I also have a thermos flask, which cost about $5.99 from the local supermarket, that I absolutely adore. I use it every day when I take my dog out for a walk in the morning, put the coffee in there, and she and I put on our boots, yes, her too, and we head out, and I use that every day. So I do like stuff, and there are some things that are really sort of dear to me. But I found that I like buying stuff more than keeping stuff, and here's why. And it's particularly evident in things like computer games and online stuff. We get a buzz from having things. So marketeers make it so that you want to buy more things. So for example, let's take the gaming industry as an example, and I'm not criticizing them. This could happen with the latest fashion outfit. It could happen with a new car model. You get the thing that you want. So you get this game. It's the most fantastic game. It's been advertised. It's got all the games, bells, whistles on it that you want, and it's fantastic and you really enjoy owning it. This could be a car, this could be an outfit, it could be absolutely anything. And the marketeers have made it the best thing, and you have achieved it and you feel fantastic. And then guess what? What they want is they want a little chink in the armour, because guess what? Next week it's going to be something else you have to buy. You have to buy an add-on to the game, or fashion will change and you'll be out of style, or the car that you've just spent all that money on is no longer the coolest car on the block and you need to change it. And that's what marketing is all about. And there's nothing wrong with that, because information provided to customers by marketeers is really, really useful and really important. But it's about the buzz of buying and owning that thing. It's not necessarily about keeping it and storing it. Now, as I said earlier, there are things that I love and I use every day and I keep. The problem is that I fall into this trap too. So I don't want necessarily to have lots of other stuff. You know, for example, a friend of mine recently got pregnant and she hired maternity wear. She did not want to buy something that she's not going to use all of the time. I think that's a really cool thing to do. You know, for example, if I need to go out for a particular meeting or a posh dinner, I don't necessarily have that clothing anymore, but you can hire it now, so you don't need to invest in it and keep it, or you can borrow it from family and friends. So I'm not anti-stuff, but I fall into this trap too. I mean, I can spend hours looking at things on Pinterest and on Amazon, and I want them. I'm no different, and I'm a work in progress because I fall for it too. I really do fall for it too. I love my pink pen, for example. I'm going a bit pink and girly here, but I bought it knowing full well I kind of bought into the concept. And to take you back in my career, I used to have a sales training business, and I had salespeople in the sales training business. And if somebody achieved that day, yes, there were bonuses and there were incentives, but do you know what made the salespeople really happy? Giving them a stationery catalogue to look through and telling them they could have something. And I know exactly what that's like, looking through that catalogue and lusting after the paper and the pens. So that's the marketing element to it. It's about wanting the things, and our society now makes you want these things, and once you've got them, it makes you want something else and something else. And I would now rather spend my time doing things and having experiences and investing in the businesses that I want to invest in, so that I can achieve something that has a more lasting effect, more lasting impact. So that's the minimalist mindset that I have. I'm trying to clear out the things that I don't need to allow the things that I do need. So I'm not purging for the sake of purging. What I'm doing is taking away the things to allow some of the good stuff to come in. So that is the rant over. The point being, I suppose, now I have less stuff, I find that I do more things, and I'm building a business, and I'm very conscious of the fact that I can buy things because I'm building this business. So I do now have lights, and I've got a microphone, etc., and they're all very vital to the business. But the mindset that I have chosen to adopt for this business is that it needs to be a business that can work from anywhere, because, as I said, I want to travel. And I don't know what life's going to throw at me in the next few years. Looking at the coronavirus crisis, who could have predicted that? So I want something fleet of foot and flexible. And that's where the mindset kicks in, because having this minimalist mindset means that I want to do the most possible with the smallest amount of stuff. And as I say, it's not about getting rid of things, about purging. It's about bringing things into your life that you really, really want. So I'm not going to get rid of all of the things that I own, because it looks different to me to how it would to you. So this shift in my mindset has kind of really allowed me to focus on this business. And I'm now looking at business from a different perspective. Historically, I would have looked at business from getting loads of customers and doing lots of business and then getting loads more customers. Now I'm looking at business from the point of view of, if you like, from one. I want to engage with individuals, and I want to find out what they want and what's important to them and how I can help them. And yes, it's a business, so I want to make some money from it, because that's what a business actually is. But I want to have a business that adds value to individuals. And to me, having a clutter-free environment and a mindset that will allow me to spend more time engaging with my audience, with you guys, is hugely freeing. So I don't want to spend all of my time cooking functional meals. I love to cook, but on a day-to-day basis, breakfast and lunch is probably going to be pretty much the same. I don't have lots of things in my house and my office because it means I have to clean and care for them, so I've minimized that. In terms of my working environment, I now look for solutions that can offer more than one solution within the product, whether that's a software product or a bit of kit, or things. I'm looking for multiple use things so that I can minimize the amount of stuff and clutter that I have, so that I can actually find time to communicate better, she said, having communicated badly. I don't want to buy into the excessive consumerism. I want to buy into the opportunity to have a better consumer experience. I want to be there, present in the moment, rather than worrying about how to earn an absolute fortune to look after my expensive car or my expensive house. I don't want that anymore. If you do, that's absolutely fine. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is minimalism is a bit of an offshoot, but I want to do more with less, which is a great challenge. If you approach every day with how can I do more with less stuff, it actually becomes a bit of a game, but it's allowing me to connect with the people who are important to me. And I think that's really important for me. So what I wanted to say was, it's not about clearing stuff out, it's about allowing room for other stuff to come in, and that I find a minimalist mindset, and I'm really at the beginning of my journey, and there's loads of people out there you can go and look up on YouTube and blogs and stuff. But I'm finding that I find peace in it and calm in it and control. And one of the things that I do think as a midlife lady is the more things you can control, the more freeing it is to allow you to do other things. So that's my piece on my minimalist mindset. Don't buy into the consumerism. By all means, buy the goods. But look at how you can bring more into your life, potentially by getting rid of some of the stuff that isn't serving you anymore. Hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, please like it, please share it. Head on over to brainybiscuit.com, where I do blog about minimalism, midlife, and starting a business or breaking through that career ceiling. Head on over to Facebook, The Brainy Biscuit, or to my Instagram, The Brainy Biscuit, where I put out some motivational quotes and some funny hints and tips. So I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. So bye now.